Hello, welcome back. It is day number 8 for the 31 Days of Tarot Challenge, and today's tarot topic is the most worked deck of 2016. And without a doubt, for me, it is my very loyal companion, my Shadowscapes Tarot deck. Yeah, no question. I am in love with this deck. Nothing has beat it to date. Why? Why do I choose this deck? Well, there are a few reasons. Number one reason I work with the Shadowscapes deck is because of the artist, Stephanie Puimonlaw. I am a huge fan of her work. I think it might have been the tarot deck. It was how I discovered her in the first place. Maybe. I can't remember. It's been so long ago because I came across this deck before it was even finished. So just like the Dreams of Gaia deck, where I followed the artist as she was making the deck, and she would release another card and say, I'm finish this card, and then go to the next one and show progress. It was the same with the Shadowscape. So I followed Stephanie online while she was creating her deck. I'd go to her website to see if she had new ones done, and then I'd look at them all, the whole suit. She had a page for every suit and a page for the major arcana, and I just loved what she was doing with it. The second reason I love this deck, why I love her artwork so much, well, she's a fantasy artist, and just like me, like all of my favorite artists, they're all fantasy artists, and she is also really heavily into mythology. So she incorporates a lot of Asian and Celtic mythology in the cards. So there's a lot of creatures. I don't think there's specific like gods and myths, like a particular tale. If there is, I am unaware of it. But certainly, like here in her Four of Wands, those unicorns that kind of look more like deer, that is the Asian version of a unicorn. So that's her style, that's how she does it. Things like that. So yeah, another reason why I like this deck. So the fantasy element for sure. So just the subject matter appeals to me. So it's got unicorns, it's got fairies, it's got mermaids, it's got dragons. Um, yeah, it's got everything that I love about fantasy art, and it's all right there. And the other reason I absolutely love this deck is that it's based on the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith system. So if you're familiar with a Rider-Waite-Smith deck, you can pick up this deck and you should be able to use it without any issues whatsoever. The imagery is completely different, but the message is the same. You can find the same story in these cards that you find in the Rider-Waite-Smith. So I'll just show you some examples. Okay, we'll start with the Four of Wands because I pulled that one already. So here you have, let's start with the Rider-Waite-Smith Four of Wands. It looks like a celebration, like maybe a marriage ceremony is about to happen, or some kind of celebratory event is taking place. And here you have the Shadowscapes version, and it looks like a procession. You see a lot of roses, a lot of flowers, the sun is shining, the unicorns are leaping with joy. It's almost like it reminds me of a parade. And then with the procession of fairies kind of woven among the leaping unicorns. So you still get this kind of celebratory, ceremonial feeling about it. Another example, so here is the Hierophant from the Rider-Waite-Smith. You see like some kind of church authority addressing his congregation. He looks like he's in a position of power. He's got a group of like-minded people. He's educating. He's telling stories, he's counseling, he's advising. He also would probably, if there were, he makes the rules and decides what the consequences of breaking those rules are. So there you have the Hierophant. And then here's the Hierophant in the Shadowscapes. It's a tree, like an ent. You know, he's old and ancient, and with that comes wisdom. Here he is, kind of, you know, he's been around a long time, so he has a lot of stories, he has a lot of wisdom to share. He's talking to a few chameleons that are sitting on his hands, and he is probably telling them stories, passing on his counsel and his wisdom. So very similar meanings, but completely different at the same time. And I'll just show you one more. So here we have the Rider-Waite with the 8 of Cups. The moon is out. It's very dark. You have this figure walking away, leaving it all behind, off to seek out new scenery. Yeah. And here you have the Shadowscapes version. You have a mermaid with her lantern. It's very dark. She's going into deep waters. So again, you kind of have that darkness element. But she's got her lantern on, so she is lighting the way. She's leaving behind the cups that she's tossed aside. They're floating back up to the surface, and here she is looking for, in search of new territory, new waters, new things to fulfill her. So similar meaning, very different imagery. So that's what I mean when you can just pick up this deck and you can see all the same themes and the same meanings. And that is my most used deck of 2016, and it will probably still be my most used deck in 2017. What about you? Tell me what your favorite deck is. Which one do you use? Which one do you carry in your purse? Which one comes with you everywhere? Do you even have more than one copy? I know there's some readers out there that do that. They have more than one deck, one that they only use for themselves and others which they might use for other people. So share your favorite deck in the comments below, and I will see you tomorrow for day 9.